Welcome to People First Builders, celebrating leaders in construction who build success through their people. My name is Fletcher Wimbush, your host. I'm the CEO of Discover.ai, a performance hiring software helping small and mid-sized AEC companies solve their hardest problem, people. We help people first leaders install and execute repeatable talent acquisition systems that drive business results by hiring top performers, lowering turnover, and building world-class company cultures. Stick around to the end and you can learn more about how to become a guest on our podcast and share your story with the world. Welcome to the People First Builders podcast. My name is Fletcher Wimbush. I'm your host. Today, I've got Bo Jones with me. He's the CEO and president of TrueBuilt Construction and CareerPathways.com, which is an innovative solution for solving hiring in the trades. I can't wait to talk to you about this, Bo. Bo brings over 25 years of seasoned leadership and innovation in the construction, workforce development sectors. As both a founder of CEO of Career Pathways and a president of TrueBuilt Construction, Bo is committed to creating an impactful set of solutions that elevate individuals, organizations, and communities. Bo, I love your story. You've been in the construction space for a long time. You've run into a similar set of problems as many folks in the AEC, but you're in a particularly difficult market, right? You're in Nebraska?
We are in Nebraska. Yeah, very low unemployment.
Yeah. And young people are leaving the state, as I understand, right? So potential new hires don't stick around. And you're in the construction space. So, tell me about your journey with this challenge, the labor challenge, the talent challenge, how you've navigated that over your long career as a leader in the construction space, and then ultimately how that led you to careerpathways.com.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, 26 years in the construction industry. And as president and CEO of the company, it's been my role to make sure that we have the staff needed to take on the work that we need to take on and keep the talent pipeline full. And what we've witnessed over the last 10 to 15 years is just a decreased pipeline of that younger generation coming into our industry. And it's having a big effect on us at the GC level. It's having a huge effect on our plumbers and our electricians and our HVAC contractors and go down the list. And as passionate as we are about the mentoring and building houses with students over the years and all of the groups that we go in and get involved with in the classrooms, it just hasn't really amounted to much or enough for sure.
Well, let me just pause there for a second. So the problem is pretty clear. Most of us listening to this, part of this conversation, know what the problem is. And before we get into the classroom part of it, it sounds like you've done a lot of proactive outreach. Or maybe start there. You started with some creative solutions like proactive creative projects, habitat for humanity type stuff, things like that. Being in the schools, and you're saying that didn't really get you over the edge. I imagine you tried other things like staffing agencies and Indeed and others. I'm just curious. Just walk me through some of the other things in addition to this more proactive solution and where you ran into challenges with each of those.
Yeah, starting way back when we would do the easy ones. We'd go into classrooms of high school students and just talk in front of the class and let them know that we're here and we're available for them to reach out and ask questions if need be. And then from there, we actually built 5 full houses with high school students over a 6-year term, to where we would come in and we would do the foundation. And when the semester started, they would come in and they would frame it. They'd build the whole house and we'd work together on trimming and setting cabinets and building decks and all of the things. And by the end of the second semester graduation day, there was a house that was complete that they could auction off for the next year's build. So we did that many times. We've been on advisory councils at the community colleges, helping them design curriculum and being really involved with their students at that age level. And then just anything that we can do for a job shadow or an internship, just to get somebody to sit down and see what we have to offer and really consider the construction industry as a viable option. And it's just tough. And as passionate as we are about that, it takes time, it takes money, it takes you away from what you need to be doing otherwise, and we understand the importance and significance of it. It's just not sustainable. We
So
can't continue to do that.
yeah, and that's already an advanced technique. I mean, back 10 years ago, 15 years ago, doing that kind of an community outreach, being involved in the community, engaging young people back then, I mean, I don't know how many firms or companies were doing that well or even doing that often. So you've been committed to like, hey, we're going to engage this talent pool for a long, long time. But even that has come with challenges, right? So
Yeah, minimal results, a lot of time and money spent,
yeah.
just not something that's proven to be a long-term solution.
Okay. So how did that lead you to careerpathways.com then?
Well, okay, so frustration number one is trying to hire talent at Truebilt Construction. Frustration two was how do I get to more of this next generation in a mentorship type role or a coaching type role? And then number three was watching my own kids kind of come through high school and get to this moment of high school graduation and having to be prepared to make one of the biggest decisions of their lives, figuring out what college to go into or what career to pursue, and watching their lack of preparation, the frustration, the hesitancy, all of the things that come along with having to make a decision without being prepared. And this decision has real world impacts. It's time lost, it's student loan debt, it's a whole bunch of things that go into not really knowing what your path is. And we're seeing this in the statistics is this is the highest group of 18 to 35-year-olds that are underemployed or unemployed that we've ever had in our nation.
Yeah.
And it's because it's overwhelming. It's intimidating. All of the things that go into having to make this huge decision with no preparation, we can see it in the numbers.
Yeah.
So the mind shift has to be, and this is the entire reason for careerpathway.com, is that if us as industry can get in front of this emerging workforce between the ages of 13 and 18 years old, so that when they graduate from high school on that day, they know what they're interested in, they know what their next step is, and they can really streamline their 18 to 25-year-old phase of their life so that they can understand and get somewhere meaningful faster.
Yeah.
Less student loan debt.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point. I mean, I think about even my own, childhood, as a teenager. I mean, I was lost at one point. I was in trouble. I hung out with the wrong crowds. I was doing all the wrong things. I almost failed out of school. And we were talking pre-game here, football saved my life is what I tell people. I mean, if I didn't have football as a key piece of my life, I would have just said, screw it. I'm going to drop out of school. I'm going to go to the dumb kid school, and who knows what would have happened, right? With me. Right. Thankfully, I had something that I was passionate about and I was good at, and that, I had some motivation to like not lose, right? But I think that's true. So, take that forward to a career, right? That is the dilemma that you're highlighting to is, as you get a little bit older, you graduate, you're 18, maybe you go to college, you go, I don't know what I want to do, but I'm going to go to college because I don't know what I want to do. And so I'm going to go rack up all the student loan debt because I don't know what I want to do. I mean, this is starting to go down a bad path here, right? And then you graduate and you're like, I still don't know what I want to do. And you go get not a very great paying job. Mm-hmm. And then you try that for a year or two and then you quit and then you try another job that, and when you leave your job, by the way, and maybe people will call me old school and I would call you wrong but when you leave your job and you go to another job and if short period later you leave that job and you go to another job, and oftentimes that is in different types of jobs or sectors, you're never getting the opportunity to get good or master something, let alone find a passion for that thing that you're doing, because that's a lot of the reason why people jump around, the indecision, lack of passion, right? And then you find folks that are lost in their 30s and 40s and they've never been able to get ahead in their career, therefore in their personal lives, right? So this is what you're talking about, right?
That's exactly the problems that come from this lack of understanding of what their options are and clarity and how it aligns with their interests and their skills.
Yeah.
So if we, through careerpathway.com, between the ages of 13 and call it 21, 22, can help this next generation figure out what they like, and equally as important, figure out what they don't like
Yep.
through photos and videos as told by us professionals in industry.
Mm-hmm.
That gives them one heck of a jump start on landing somewhere meaningful, contributing to a 401k, less student loan debt, buying a house earlier in life, all of the things that define success by so many definitions, but we can get them there sooner and more properly aligned. And what happens to us as industry is now we have a group that's less likely to job hop. Because
Yeah.
if they come in and they say, hey, I like this construction thing, and they know the companies that are doing this and who has the opportunities available, and they can get aligned with them earlier in life, that's the jackpot for all of us. We have a motivated talent base coming to us that's energized and excited about what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And they're coming to us 3 to 5 years sooner with less stress financially and less downtime and wasted time. So it clears up a whole lot of things. And if we look at the other side, so we look at where this problem lies. Some people might point their finger at the education system saying, hey, you're not doing your job.
Yeah.
And that's not fair. That's not fair for us as industry to say, hey, education system, would you please give every single one of your students a unique career exploration opportunity in the 20 some thousand jobs that we offer in industry?
Mm-hmm.
That's not a fair request. We can't do that.
Well, and we've done that, I think, too. And education has tried to do that too, by the way, but they're handicapped. Why? Sure.
Well, a bunch of different things, right?
Yeah.
So what happens is it's hard enough for us in industry to even be able to keep pace with what's going on in our industry. Stuff changes every single day. We have to try to keep up with it. It's impossible for the education system to, number one, know tens of thousands of opportunities and then stay current on it.
Yeah.
So the only shot that they have is a platform like careerpathway.com that comes in and there's new, fresh content uploaded every single day from those of us in industry telling our story and what's happening and how things are changing and how to prepare for it. So through photos and videos such as a day in the life, how to get to know us, all of the things that we need this next generation to understand about us, we can tell our story on careerpathway.com, put it in the classroom in front of students, and now Bo Jones in Lincoln, Nebraska, through Truebelt Construction, is mentoring thousands of students throughout the entire nation on what this thing called construction is.
Yeah.
So now I can help in a way broader base with less lift.
And you become the employer of choice, at least in your local market, or maybe people are willing to move. And I've actually met a few people who've moved to the Midwest. Mm-hmm. They've gone the other way. You think of people leaving the Midwest, but they've actually gone the other way because the cost of living's lower. You can buy a home for $70,000 and you can get a good job because employers will need you, right? If you're interested in working for an employer in the Midwest, they will hire you, right?
And I can drive all the way across Lincoln in about 20 minutes. So commute times are lower and family value, or the upraising of a family in Lincoln is pretty good.
So a little plug for Lincoln, Nebraska.
Little plug for Lincoln, Nebraska. Hey, we're hiring.
Yeah, we're hiring. You'll get a good job if you come to town, right? So this is super interesting to think about. And I want to throw in another piece of this because the way I've always thought about it is, as a recruiter and for having interviewed 15,000 people for jobs, many of them young people, and many of them young people with and worked with lots of employers with college degrees. The college degree almost in many cases has been meaningless for a long time. So it's like, the only value that's ever demonstrated is that, well, they stuck with it and they went through that experience of going to college and there is some value to that, but it's like, that's it. Like the skills they learned, we just totally throw those away and discount them because when they do come to work for us, I think many of us have found if you hired a 22-year-old who just graduated from college with a liberal arts degree, it's like, they don't really have any skills. So we just have to teach them how to do the job anyways. And that's something that we've been doing as organizations for a very long time already. So now you're sort of shortcutting that by, hey, let's create a platform. Let's speak one to many. So now I don't have to be in classroom every quarter doing this, speaking to a small group. You can do this from your computer and share this with thousands, maybe millions of young people. So this is creating a really nice scale effect,
Mhm.
and all to help shortcut that process a bit, to inspire folks who can get excited about a career. And when you're excited, you're more likely to persevere through the adversity that you're going to experience early in your career and maybe not, quit after 6 months because you are inspired, because you're like, you know what, I'm going to do this, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I think this is a really, fresh, unique idea and a great kind of twist on this heavy lifting grassroots efforts that many people like yourself have done. Not enough do, because it's hard and it takes time and energy. I'm sure there's many who wish they could do that or would do this, but they haven't done it, and many who have and maybe experienced something like that. So show us maybe a little bit about the platform. What is the experience for the employer, for the young person?
Yeah, let me pull it up here quick and give everybody a quick tour. Okay, so what is careerpathway.com? So it is simply a social media type of platform, but for the purpose of helping students and this next younger generation understand what it is that we do, why we do it, and how we do it. So we built it very much like a social media platform where we have the functionality on the left-hand side of a feed, a discover, inbox, apply, and everybody gets their own profile.
Nice.
So what happens is as we engage in the content within Career Pathway, you get to curate your own feed. So this is the companies that you follow, and you want to see the latest and greatest from these companies. Every time they post something, you can see City of Lincoln Transportation and Utilities. You can see they've added some good content here recently, Empire Netting and Fence, and you can go down the list of the companies and the colleges that you follow. Where the real meat of it is in the discover mode. So this is an opportunity where somebody coming in, an individual looking for an opportunity, can type in anything they want up in the search bar. So they can type in construction, nursing, actuary, whatever it is that they're interested in. And we introduce them to the leaders in that industry, the actual industry that that keyword is in. So if they happen to type in electrician, we're going to show them that electrician is in the construction industry. We're going to show them the latest posts, top posts, and all the best of the best as it relates to that search term. So they're always learning from the companies and the businesses that are doing that. And what they see when they click on one of the businesses is they see a profile that that business has created themselves. So TrueBuilt Construction has 3 components on our profile. We have posts where we share through photos and videos in topics such as get to know us, a day in the life, how to, advise, the spaces we work in, and others. But this is simply photos and videos of what we do. And we show them that we're building houses, we're building commercial buildings, we're building apartment complexes, and they can see what it is that we do and get an understanding of what it means to work at TrueBuilt Construction.
Yeah.
So it's a real nice opportunity for us in industry to share, very much like social media, but all of these posts have an education twist to them. So I'm always telling a story about framing phase is the most exciting part of construction. The crew will have this 72,000 square foot building framed in about 8 weeks. This is what we do. So these kids have been, and individuals have been driving by these buildings their entire lives, and they don't know that it's somebody like us that does that.
Yeah.
And
And then
that's an option.
and then they can interact and comment, and you guys can interact back, and you can have a conversation, right?
And you're exactly right. And then so we go back to the profile here, and I get to tell a little story about TrueBuilt Construction, who we are, what we've done, how many team members we have. But the most impactful thing is now I can show them our opportunities. What's an entry level position at TrueBuilt Construction? What's an intermediate, mid, and then upwards of a professional expert level position at TrueBuilt Construction? So if they want to look at, what does it mean to be a carpenter at TrueBuilt Construction? I show them what we're going to pay for an entry level carpenter. Here's the prerequisites, and then they can connect right here, apply via website. They click a button. I get an email as TrueBuilt Construction saying, hey, such and such has applied for your entry level carpenter position. And it's the connection is there. So now when I get an email saying, hey, so-and-so has applied, I know they've been on my profile. I know they've seen my photos and videos. I know they know what we do, and they're reaching out to a very qualified candidate.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
very exciting there. Inbox, so this is kind of fun, is we'll get messages. So the other day I got a message and this student here reached out and said, hey, I'd like to be considered for your $1,000 scholarship opportunity. My contact details are below. They can
Nice.
apply right here. They can come in and see what opportunities are available. Community colleges and businesses and all kinds of people coming in, adding their content, hospitals. And then, yeah, go back to Truebuilt Construction's profile. I can edit and add content with the click of a button. So the simplicity of this has been difficulty in building it. So creating a post, I can come in here, photos and videos, upload it, type a little caption, hit send, it posts to the platform in a matter of minutes. It's as easy as it can possibly be. So there's nothing hard or that requires training about this, but what this does is now Truebuilt Construction is telling a story to individuals such as Emma, who is our sample profile for a student, where they get to come in and build their own profile.
Mm-hmm.
So every student and every individual gets to come in and build a portfolio. So these are the companies and the videos that they like, along with a resume. So they get to type in all of their own unique content about what it is that they do and their experience. But the most important thing that we're doing that is everything about careerpathway.com is as they're engaging in the content in the background, we're actually tracking the industry and more specifically the careers that they're gravitating towards. So in this example, Emma has spent the most time in professional, scientific, and technical services. She can click on that and see that she has spent 150 minutes engaged in software engineering content. She can click on that and we introduce her to all the colleges and businesses that do software engineering.
Yeah.
So with just simple clicks of buttons, they can get all the way down to where their interests are and then make those very impactful connections to move them forward to the next step.
So you can reinforce the interests, or you can pivot your interests. If maybe you spent too much time in that sector and you say, hey, I want to change my mind, but that's before you spent a year working in it, right?
But that's exactly right. That's exactly right. So now you come to a situation here. These are the profiles on careerpathway.com. And this is where it gets really exciting for me is the blue profiles are under the age of 18. So these are all individuals looking for education or career opportunities. That's probably the neatest thing about our audience on careerpathway.com is these are all people looking for something. Mm-hmm. They don't come here just to waste time or look for TikTok videos. They're here looking for the next step of their path.
Yeah.
So the blue circles that we see here are, again, individuals under the age of 18. So we'll see little batches of them come in from time to time. And then we get the ripple effect is Austin, Texas is a gentleman down there that does a really neat podcast, Hausman Construction, University of Kearney. The red profiles are individuals over the age of 18. So now these are people like you and me looking for jobs, looking to upskill and do something maybe a little different in life. You get the American Institute of Architects. You get just go down the list, University of Nebraska, College of Ag Science, Shadron Community Hospital. These are all profiles coming on for the purpose of offering an opportunity or finding an opportunity.
Yeah. So you have the individuals who are looking for career opportunities. You have the companies who are interested in sharing experiences and stories about doing the work that they do. And then you have other influencers or educational institutions that are also part of that conversation as well. So you're bringing all three of those groups together ultimately.
Yeah. And as I'm scrolling here, I'm looking for, here we go. So here's an example. The gold circles are our educators and mentors. So this is middle school, high school teachers, school counselors, and then also our mentor groups such as Junior Achievement and JAG and all of the groups that work with students for after school programs. Now this is a really neat resource for them because they can come in and as an educator, you can follow your students and then it opens up that student profile. So now they can see every single one of their students' unique profile and gain an absolute crystal clarity into what each of their students is interested in.
Yeah.
So a classroom of 30 students, every single one of them is going to go a different direction. And now that individual or that educator has clarity into what each student is interested in.
Yeah. So when they're doing one-on-one time or needing to create more specific curriculum or have a more tailored conversation with that individual, they have those insights and they have a platform that brings them together to have that conversation as well.
and they can walk them to the next step of the path with, hey, let's find a college, let's find a certificate program, let's find something that gets you to that next step that you need to get into. So that's a little quick rundown of the platform. I'll go ahead and go back to.
Yeah. So I mean, it's way better than me having to like open a textbook and try to explain to you what that job or that career path is. And I mean, as a teacher, I may or may not actually be all that knowledgeable about that industry either. So now together we can learn, as me as the educator, as an educator, it's just my job to guide you to the information. And this now becomes a tool, a better tool than maybe a textbook or some static content that was harder to get somebody to point them in the right direction in the past.
Well, let's be honest. This is the TikTok generation.
Yeah.
You don't hand them a textbook and say, learn about construction. I mean, that's not where they're going to go do that.
Yeah. Well, even teachers though, I mean, again, it's just this path of least resistance now is multimedia way to interact, right? It's just so much easier for me to help you, or collaborate with you in your career journey if I'm, as an educator. So you're sharing this platform with everybody. So anybody can go on and participate for free, is my understanding. And then obviously you have some opportunities to donate to the cause and to sponsor and kind of get elevated exposure as well, right?
Yeah. So everybody on the platform has a free opportunity. Students, educators, and individuals seeking jobs will always be free. The businesses have a free option, which is a pretty basic profile. And then they have a couple of upgrade options, which really allows them to post all their opportunities, get connections made, receive resumes. And then for the big companies that want to flex their muscle, they can stand out as a leader. Yeah. And very, very cost effective and very efficient ways of getting their name out. Branding, it's just getting in front of thousands of people. I can tell you right now that when Truebuilt makes a post on careerpathway.com, it hits an audience of thousands. Whereas when I go into a classroom and I do an hour-long presentation in front of a class of students, I hit 20 to 30.
Yeah. So the impact is the one-to-many effect is much greater and only getting better as more folks are adopting the platform. So tell us about some of the success stories. I think in the educational side, you've been getting a lot of traction. On the industry side, how have they been doing with this? And on the student side, how have they been able to have some successes here?
Yeah, so we started at the top. So we started with the Commissioner of Education at the state of Nebraska. We started with the Department of Economic Development. We started with the governor of the state of Nebraska. We had to make sure that all of them were on board with this concept. The Department of Economic Development actually funded us with a prototype grant. So that was kind of our startup model. Yeah. And then we partnered up with the Lincoln Chamber of Commerce and the city of Lincoln in partnerships that they have that allowed us to bring in the Department of Labor information into the platform. So the huge partners that we have really basically brought the entire state of Nebraska, all the important groups together for the purpose of having a platform where all this happens. So that's kind of partnership success number one. Number two, we went to the education system. We said, hey, put this in the hands of the students. Let's see what happens. And to me, that's the rewarding part, is you hand this to the student and they're intuitive, they're grabbing and going and they're interacting. You can just see the videos being played and the images, and they know what to do. That's the super easy one for us. And then you hear the stories of the businesses. We had Sandhills Global came on about 45 days ago. And in the last 45 days, they've had 5 people apply for positions.
Yeah. Yeah.
For minimal effort. I mean, the amount of effort that they put on their platform versus the reward of the 5 applicants. Yeah. It's huge.
And one thing that it also inspires me, I mean, this is so awesome at the inspiring young people about their careers and having such a great social effect and long-term effect on individuals and organizations and their own personal advancements and goals, right? But I think it's also teaching employers who do decide to engage in a platform like this how to better tell their story to everybody, period, let alone not only this population, but the lessons you're teaching me as a middle-aged, guy, maybe not as, socially oriented or, interested or understanding the concepts of the importance of telling our story, right? That's important no matter what level of person that you're trying to hire, right? And now if I've created this content for you, now I can then disperse this content through my own website, through my LinkedIn website, where I'm going after maybe a slightly different population or target audience, right?
I love that you brought that up. So what we did is we went out and interviewed hundreds of students before we even started building the platform. And one of the most impactful questions that we asked that really gave us insight was, hey, when you grab your phone, what are the first three apps that you go to?
Yeah.
You can probably guess it's Snapchat, Instagram, and TikTok.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was the 13 to 25-year-old age group.
Yeah. Not LinkedIn.
Not well. Okay. So then we went in and we asked all the businesses that we sat down with, and we said, hey, when you have something really cool that you want to showcase about your business, where do you put it?
Yeah.
LinkedIn, Facebook, and their own personal website.
Yeah.
Those were bottom three for the students.
Yeah.
We couldn't be further off. And so for somebody that's done all of our marketing on Facebook, LinkedIn, and our own personal website for the last 20 years, it was kind of like, duh, no wonder we're not getting them.
Yeah.
They're not there. So
but I see it both ways though. I mean, a lot of companies aren't even doing that, right? They're not on those platforms. They're not telling their story, their employer brand story, their employer value proposition story, even on those platforms. And for the ones that maybe are inspired by your story and they're starting to then like, hey, let's create some content, throw it on careerpathways.com. Guess what? You get to repurpose that there too, right? Or vice versa. If you're already really good at doing that stuff on Meta and LinkedIn, well, then boy, you already got it. Just go and move it to careerpathways.com, and now you got a bigger audience.
Well, and the other neat thing that we did is, so all of those other platforms that we just talked about, none of them are approved to be in classrooms.
Yeah. Yeah. The other, no teacher is going to bring up LinkedIn in the classroom necessarily to showcase.
And let's pick a career. You're right.
Yeah.
It's not, you don't go to LinkedIn to just have 30 students pick a career.
Yeah.
So what we've done is, by working with the education system, we made sure that it was a resource that they would approve to put in classrooms with students as early as 13. So imagine this, imagine the impact. If 13 to 18-year-old students from middle school and high school throughout the nation, by the time they graduate from high school, have spent ample amount of time in careerpathway.com learning about industry and careers, and they are able to make a guided decision on graduation day to their next step, what's the impact of that?
Yeah. It's huge for our country ultimately, right? And you're going to find people who are more engaged in the work that they do, and obviously more financially stable and just happier.
Right. Yeah, you show up to work every day excited and motivated, and that's the good stuff there.
Mental health, right? Ultimately, I mean, I always say to employers, like, look, there's, as an employer or as a human being, I want to advance my quality of life, and that really means I need personal growth, and because I work as a human being, we all work in some way, we all have some job, right? And therefore I look for professional growth and opportunities, and those are important things as human beings. I think it's part of our DNA as these animals that we are, right? We just naturally seek these things out, and so this is all a great tool to really facilitate that.
Yeah, well, we're excited about it, and the fact that I guess one more exciting announcement is coming up here on August 14th. We have been selected to be the platform for the first ever State of Nebraska Governor's Youth Summit.
Nice.
So this is in conjunction with the Governor's Summit. So this is an Ag and Economic Development Summit held every year in the state of Nebraska. And this year they're doing a tie-on event that is Governor Pillen's vision of connecting Nebraska talent with Nebraska opportunities. And then the Department of Economic Development puts on this amazing summit. And they're bringing in the Youth Summit this year, and careerpathway.com is powering the back end of this, making these connections. So imagine bringing in students from across the state and all of these opportunities from across the state, and now somebody has to pair them.
Yeah.
That's us.
Yep. And all of the industry and companies are going to be part of that. They're all going to see that. So you guys are really starting to see some substantial traction on this. So look, if you're if you're in your community, you're looking for a solution like this, obviously, I'm sure people can reach out to you, and you'd be happy to share your story and how you got influential people like your governor and other state officials and local officials interested to endorse this and to champion this solution. I'm sure you would assist in that. And I know you guys are doing things all over the country already with that as well. but it does take people like you, driving this and promoting this and encouraging our leaders at the government level to endorse this and adopt this and make it part of the curriculum, or approved, or becoming kind of part of the system, right?
Yeah, and that's the neatest thing about what we've done is so many barriers are built when you go into the education system and you say, hey, buy this product from me. Now you're talking about school boards and budgets and all of the things. So what we've done with Career Pathway is we give it to the education system and all the students for free.
Yeah.
There is no barrier there. And then
you've dealt with the compliance related issues, and you have districts in the state of Nebraska and different organizations who've already endorsed it, implemented this. So nobody has to reinvent the wheel if they decide to implement this into their.
Well, I encourage everybody to do their due diligence, but it has been very strongly vetted out by the public school system here in our community. We spent about 18 months working with them to make sure that all of the security systems and the data and everything was safe and secure. As a matter of fact, I don't even, as the CEO of careerpathway.com, I do not have access to the students' email addresses.
Yeah.
That's how locked down it is.
Yeah. So you've done all the heavy lifting to make this ready to go for any community group, school district that is interested in implementing and championing this and leveraging it in their community as well.
Yeah, it's just a website. It's not even an app that you have to download. So when we sat down with the education system, they said, hey, we're working with Chromebooks. We don't want students downloading stuff onto our Chromebooks. So it's as simple as a username and a password at careerpathway.com is how you log into your account.
Yeah. Well, that's great. So, Bo, if somebody wants to get in touch with you, learn more about careerpathways.com, maybe how to, help in this cause and be an evangelist, or, implement this, or just participate, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
Yeah, help us spread the word. That's where we're at right now is, startup company. We funded the whole thing. We built the platform in the back end. It does everything that we say it does. Now it's on the side of marketing and outreach. So anybody that has an audience, Fletcher, like yourself, help us spread the word. And getting in touch with us, if you go to careerpathway.com, just like it sounds. Yeah. No dashes or spaces or anything, just careerpathway.com. And if you need to get a hold of us, at the bottom, there's a contact form. Reach out. That'll get funneled down to me if need be. But we are here to help. We have a great team that's making connections currently through 34 states. We hit, I think, our 34th state today. Nice. So we have users on the platform from 34 states, and this is individuals seeking opportunities and businesses offering opportunities. So anybody that has anything from a scholarship to an internship, apprenticeship, part-time job, full-time job, or any college offerings. Yeah. So certifications all the way to doctoral degrees. Awesome. Put it on careerpathway.com and we'll get it in front of people.
Awesome. Amazing. All that will be in the show notes there as well. And as we share, shorts or snippets from today's show as well, we'll obviously make sure that people have, access and ability to find you guys easily at a click of a button. So, Bo, thank you for joining me today.
Fletcher, I appreciate this.
Thank you so much for listening to our People First Builders podcast. If you're a successful construction CEO and would like to tell your story on this program, please visit our podcast homepage, FletcherWimbush.com/peoplefirstbuilders, or check it out in the notes below. If you got something out of this interview and would like to share the episode on socials, we always appreciate that. Just take a quick screenshot with your phone, text it to a friend, or post it to the socials. If you know someone who might be a great guest, tag them on social and let them know. And don't forget, #PeopleFirstBuilders. I love seeing your posts and guest suggestions. We're regularly putting out new content. To make sure that you don't miss out on any episodes, go ahead and hit subscribe on your favorite podcast channel. Your thumbs up and ratings and reviews go a long way to help promote the show and mean a lot to me and my team. Want to know more? Go to our website, FletcherWimbush.com, or follow me on LinkedIn. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.